Hi there everybody, just been looking at some various things we're doing and decided to do a quick explanation on what the differences are between working for your, at a job or working in Empower Network. Because there is a big difference, and unfortunately we've been educated into what we have to do every day. If you've got a job, you understand implicitly what it's all about. You've got to be at a job between 9 to 5 or whatever the hours are. You're being controlled every day of the week, because even when you aren't there, a lot of people are on call. They have to be aware of the fact that they've got to be back at work on the next morning, or if things go wrong they have to go back there too. You're not only be controlled, in fact you're really a slave to the job, because you have to have the job. If you haven't got the job, you don't pay the mortgage. Don't pay the mortgage, you're out on the street. You've got to have the job to pay for the children. You've got to have the job to pay for the car. So one has to work. There's no question with that. But at a job, you are completely under the influence of the people or person that you work for or the company you work for, with everything that you do, including the holidays that you take, where you can go, what time you have with your family, whether you work on weekends. Everything is controlled by that job. So in fact, slavery is at its highest point. Really, 90% of the world are slaves now to a job, because you have to have one. You've only got to listen to the likes of Seth Godin and Robert Kiyosaki. If you ever heard any of their material, they're both world leaders and they're both multi-millionaires. They've worked things successfully, and both of those men, both Seth Godin and Kiyosaki, in fact I might even do a video about them and with them on various bits, because they explain very well what's happening in the world today and why you should be looking outside the job because of the restrictions that a job has. Okay, so with Empower Network, what do we do with Empower Network? Empower Network is making an income and using the internet to make that income from. It's a training program, it's a learning program, it's a learn, do, learn, act and tell others about it. It's a very simple program to follow when you understand where it's coming from. Now, you might spend 3 or 4 hours a day at it, but you'll be at home. You'll be with your children, you'll be with your wife or your spouse. You'll be able to take some time off in the middle of the day if you want to and go and watch a movie. If the children have something happening at school, then you should be at school when the kids really need you to be there. You should be at their sports when you needed to be there. And you can do these things if you're in something like Empower Network, because it is a work from home situation. You do everything from here, it's all internet based. So in fact, you can be visiting your mother or a relative 1,000 miles away, and you take your business with you with your laptop. When you get to the other end, you fire it up and you put your next couple of hours in. You can be anywhere, and you put a couple of hours, 3 hours, 4 hours a day. You might even put in 8 hours a day if you wanted to. And in fact, when you first start, if you're anything like us, we put our 8 hours a day in because we want to move forward, and we want to move forward quickly. So we aren't tied down to where we work from and how we do things. Like we've got a neighbour just over the road. It's really quite amazing. He gets up, his car fires up, because we know the sound of his car. His car fires up between 5 to 6 and 5 past 6 in the morning. And off he goes. We now know he goes to a sawmill. He comes home around 4 o'clock, sometimes even 3:30. But generally it's around 4 p.m. when he gets home. So he's putting in 6 to 12, that's 6 hours. He's putting in 10 hours a day away from home to make an income to support his family. He's got a wife and 2 children. and he's away 5 days a week to support that family. And sometimes he goes to work on the weekends, but he's mostly home on weekends. But that's a lot of hours to be away, and you're totally restricted with what you can do. Whereas you take on the new way of doing things. If you listen to the Seth Godins in life and look at what's happening in the world and looking at the revolution that's happened, because there is a change. The old style of having to go to work and what we've been taught, because we've been taught to go to school, to get a job, save money and retire. And that formula simply doesn't work anymore. It's gone past that. There's the revolution going on. It's now changing, and we're now, because of the internet, we can make money now however we really want to, wherever we really want to. And one of the most powerful things that I've ever seen to make money with is the Empower Network, but it is what I'm doing. And it excites me because we can now get around and we can move. See, we're putting in the hard yards now and the time to make sure that we get the proper foundations, and we've got our foundations in place now. So now we're looking to build this up till we get to working only 2 hours a day. Then we can go anywhere. We're in a position now that we can shift from our neighbour over the road and not have to listen to that noise anymore that starts at 5 to 6 in the morning because you've got a very noisy car. So we can choose now what we can do. He can't choose what he can do. He's limited to what his job will allow him to do. And I don't think that's the way that life should be led when there is so much freedom available on doing things on the net. So anyway, you've got to look at what you're doing, because life is literally, it's too short. Life is too short to be permanently restricted by old learnings, teachings and habits that we've got into because of what we've been taught, when there are new things out there. So I'm suggesting you go look. It's going to cost you nothing to look. Go to the website that's at the end of this video, or underneath it, or below it, or on the side of it. There will be a link. Have a look at that website. That's going to cost you nothing to do. And if you're serious about having a good look, then it will cost you $25. And there'll be some free stuff and so forth involved in that. But that will give you a very, very, very serious look at what's going on. Then if you choose to go ahead, then do it. But I do suggest that you really do it now. And look in, so that you can look after your family properly and you can have some freedom in life instead of being restricted with the old teachings, the old learnings and the old habits that we've got into because of what we've been taught, and the way our parents taught us and the way their parents taught us. Those ways have now come to an end. So I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Have a good look at it and enjoy life. Bye.